Let me rock you to sleep.
Why do I keep posting videos about Nick and Nate Diaz and other people who I find inspiring?
When I look down at you,
with cops, lawyers, judges, you are going to need inspiration. You are going to need to find people you relate to who understand what it's like to go into a challenge over years with virtually unwinnable odds and doing it anyway. If you are the only person trying to abide by anarchy, you are going to find yourself isolated and alone, relatively. And among all of the people that I've posted on my channel, of all the people that I've gotten inspiration from and posted on YouTube, Nick and Nate Diaz probably have given me the most. They have nothing to do with formal anarchy or challenging courts. Why am I sharing this? Because people like you and like me are out there. You won't find them in your family, you won't find them in your neighborhood, you may not even find them in your town. But we're out there and we're growing. We're growing quickly. We're growing in a way no other cause has grown before, even though we're still tiny. Because there's this concept known as going viral. And if you just tip over that first domino, the rest are gonna fall. It's just a matter of time. Nick and Nate Diaz, they are older and younger brother, 2 years apart. I am an older brother. I have a younger brother 2 years younger than me, so it was easy to relate to them and their lives, how they grew up, just how we did. I had no older brother or sister protecting me to any degree whatsoever. And I went to a junior high and high school that was fed with a military base, so there was racism and fights plenty. And for some odd reason, the way his body speaks in the ring, what they are able to accomplish, what they're able to withstand, what they're able to come back from, what they're able to inflict, the will that they're able to impose. These two are not gifted with natural born talent. Every bit of talent they've had has come from hard work. And by hard work, I don't mean the kind of slavery hard work. I mean the disciplined hard work toward goals that are worthwhile, worthy of one's all-encompassing energy and time. I don't know how many times over the last 5 years I've listened to Nick and Nate Diaz, compilation videos, inspirational type edited videos on YouTube, but it's been dozens. And when I'm in jail, I quite often think of how pathetically easy it is to sit in a jail cell as opposed to go win a mixed martial arts fight in the UFC. They're probably the only people in this world that if I saw them in person, I'd probably get, a little starstruck by, just, fuck, plant my back against the wall and just look at a peripheral view and not say a damn thing. Because these guys, they have the spirit of what's needed in all aspects of life, not just career or physical competition. They have the anarchic soul of I will do what I will do, and anyone telling me that I can't do something, go fuck yourself. Their goal is, it's removing the exploitation of promoters and putting power back in the hands of the fighters. It's eliminating middlemen, like we're all doing. It is decentralizing monopolies of power and The upper echelon of the UFC know exactly what they represent and why they're so popular. That's why I'm going to all the trouble to put Nick and Nate Diaz on a cop watching channel. Because if you're looking for like-minded motherfuckers in this crazy world run by psychotic, delusional people with guns, enforcing bullshit drug wars and suspensions,
I like Nick Diaz
then man, you are missing out if you are not very familiar with Nick and Nate Diaz and their career, their
Robbie Lawler
fights.
was a huge favorite going to this fight. Robbie Lawler was knocking people out. He's a beast, you know. Still to this day, he's a beast. So Nick Diaz gets into the cage and just starts going, Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. Oh, he's like talking 209 and Stockton, and he's pacing back and forth. He goes, Stockton, motherfucker, and he was dead serious. When he fights guys, he calls them bitch all the time. What bitch? What bitch? You want this bitch? Pow! Like he'll hit guys and talk shit to him. He was talking shit to Robbie Lawler the whole time they fought. He was talking shit to him, and Robbie Lawler didn't talk shit back. I thought he would, you know, but he was. I think that guy really flusters a lot of people with his shit talking. You know, like when he was fighting Frank Shamrock said it best. He was like, I can't, like he was doing it, and he can't believe he's doing it while he's doing it. Like, is this guy really talking this much shit to me? He's a fascinating cat, man, because he does fucking triathlons. Like, he's really into doing like high endurance shit. And he gets super baked and then rides his bike and swims and runs. His endurance is ridiculous. He's got like Ironman triathlon endurance. That's why, one of the reasons why he fucks guys up. He just puts a pace on them that they can't keep up with him. Yeah. It's just like he's running with them. He just makes them run at his pace, and then before you know it, they're wilting, and he's beating the fuck out of them. You know, he does that to everybody, man. Did it to Paul Daly, and he puts himself in danger to land shots. And he does some stuff that is just really atypical of guys trying to play it safe and guys that are like champions. Like, a lot of times guys get to a certain point and they fight to win, but when they can win and coast and not put themselves in danger, they will sometimes, you know. GSP does that. Nick Diaz does not do that. Now, listen to me. No, when Nick Diaz just fought his last fight, he fought a serious fucking dangerous striker, this guy Paul Daly. And Paul Daly does not have a good jiu-jitsu game. Paul Daly, his defense is okay, it's pretty good, but his stand-up is wicked. Nick Diaz went after him only with stand-up. Didn't even try to submit him. Didn't try to take him down. Just banged it out with him and dragged him into deep water and then knocked him out. And it was incredible. And it was in the way he did it was a way that George would never do it. He threw himself into the fire. He even got clipped and knocked down. He's not supposed to be like striking with this guy. This guy's like one of the best strikers in the sport. And he struck with him. He hung in there with him and he beat him down. And he's a beast, man. You cannot count out Nick Diaz. The best performance I think anyone has ever had against BJ. No one has ever looked that good against BJ. Jesus fucking Christ, what a fight, holy shit. Nick Diaz looked good, man. God damn did he look good. I mean, he just boxed him up, standing up, man. Just boxed him up. And the pace that Nick Diaz makes you run with him. He makes you run at his pace, you know, and his endurance is just on some wicked level, man. And he forces this pace and fights guys, you know, using sharp boxing where he doesn't hit you with full blast shots. You know, like, he sort of 50%s you, 50%s you up until, like, the second and third round. Then he starts digging those hooks to the body, and so effective, man. He's so effective.
What's up, Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Like, I put a lot into this. Like, people don't understand. Like you want to come into this, like, with a nice wife and a nice life. I'm like, motherfucker, I didn't get none of that. I don't get to go home to my nice wife and nice life. And if you're doing that every day and you're putting all that effort into your nice wife, I'm putting 100% into what I do. I'm going to fuck your whole world up right in front of your nice wife and your nice life. It's not going to be fun. I'm not going to enjoy it. That's where we get into this huge controversy. Oh, I just love it. No. This is a curse. And then I wound up in the guy for the job, and it's just what it is. So we'll deal with it. And, you know, I'm either going to go out there and get kicked around now, or maybe I'm kicking myself later, you know. Yeah. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Well, the
Everybody
thing is I've never
even
lost
more.
the fight that I'm fighting. So I've lost. You got a guy that either going to run away or hold on. But if you come out and fight me, they know they're not a better fighter, so they can't really go there. Yeah. And people know what they're looking at. They're not stupid. If I want to say fuck you and look at you to your face and say, hey, fuck your mother, then that's I can do that.
So now you want to change fucking governments.
You can't do that shit. You can change government. Yeah, you're changing government. You know what I'm saying? Sweet bitches, here we go. Here we go again. Nick Diaz.
Nick Diaz, what's up?
What's up, Nick? How's it going? What's going on, man?
Yeah, he will.
I think anybody's afraid to fight me. I mean, they got to be stupid. I'm afraid to fight anybody too.
I'm afraid to sit right here.
I'm not afraid to say that I'm not afraid to fight somebody. You know, I'm like, okay, you're gonna pay me. I'm not gonna enjoy it. That's where we get into this huge controversy. Oh, I just love what no. This is a curse.
You fuck people up in high school?
I was never like picking on people or anything like that. It was more the other way around. I was a little insecure. I was broke. I was on welfare. I was getting dropped off around the corner. My mom dropped me off down the street. She's driving a shitty car.
It embarrassed me too.
Yeah,
dog.
I fucking
feel that.
And I wouldn't go to school unless like my clothes looked right or something. I was like really like,
insecure.
you know, I had a really hot girlfriend in high school, and I get in fights over that. And then by the time I got into high school, I was moved around a lot of schools, so I was getting in fights in high school over that. And then I had bad attendance, and they put me on some half day thing where they're like, okay, you're dangerous, you're on a half day, and we want you to make perfect attendance before you can come back to a full day, and we're going to escort you from class to class. I'm like, I'm already embarrassed and insecure enough to be in school. I'm getting in
That's
fights
pretty
all the time.
impressive, though, man. Be escorted from
I mean,
class to class.
like, it was a weird,
spelling,
and then my mom, she was kind of a pushover. She wasn't like gonna go like, hey, you know, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? So I just basically had no shot at doing well in school. So I dropped out sophomore year and started competing in jiu-jitsu. I wanted to wrestle in high school, but I didn't. You know, didn't really work out like that because I didn't have the attendance.
Do you feel like you'd have missed your calling though? Like you could have, like in that sport, you would have done amazing in wrestling.
I think I would have done great. I mean,
the wrestling coach
the
wrestling coach has to be crying that this guy didn't have attendance to get him on the team.
The thing about wrestling, I wasn't a very strong guy, and I wasn't a very fast learner when it came to wrestling. You know, because in jiu-jitsu, a guy wrestles you down, and then you learn jiu-jitsu from the bottom, anyways. So I learned wrestling a lot better after I understood how to to defend myself on being on bottom, which wasn't hard because they always throw me on bottom. I was 15 years old. You had a bunch of wannabe pro bodybuilders, football players, and pro wrestling. Everybody was doing a pro wrestling thing back in the day, and a lot of those guys try to transition over. So I always had different looks in the gym when it came, like strong guys, steroids. That's why you would get into doing mixed martial arts or fighting, because you're strong or something, or maybe you did some other sports, so someone would make this. I was already doing martial arts, and I was already getting in fights, and I actually went to go train to learn how to fight better. So when I end up in a fight over my girlfriend or over whatever kind of nonsense, whatever gangster bullshit I had was going on back then, like I was gonna get the better of it. And then I started having real confidence when I was like, I'd come home, tell my friends, I'm like, yo, dude, I just tapped out this guy. He's like buff, I'm like, dude, I would choke your dad. You don't understand. And they would be like, that's when I was infatuated. Like,
I would choke your dad?
Yeah. We're 14.
Yeah, I'll fuck your dad up, man.
Yeah, I'll fucking whoop your dad's ass. And
it's nicer than saying I'll choke your mom. That's for sure.
How close did you come to it just being wrong, where you were on the, out on the streets and not competing and making something of your life?
Well, I never, I was really versed when it came to like the dope game. You know what I mean? Like I never got into that. I was always smoking a little weed, but I never got into. Everybody's parents were dealing dope, and their house was a meth lab or something on every there's I grew up next to a trailer park. Like half of the park was like meth labs.
Where'd you go?
Over Stockton, Lodi, California.
I just broke down there. We had a tire go flat on the bus, and I got out and I was like, Stockton. I was like, I'm like, where's the Diaz brothers? Right. And we walked down to find some civilization because we're off the highway. And these dudes pulled up and they were like, yo, you don't want to be walking over here. Where are you guys? Are you guys broken down in that tour bus? And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, imagine you just broke down there. Imagine you growing up there. That'd be crazy.
Come back and there's nothing left of your bus.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually a really nice place to live as long as you understand. Like you're not going to, just because, you're in Stockton doesn't mean you want to go downtown. Nobody goes downtown. There's the courthouse. There's, it's kind of grimy over downtown, but on the north side of town, towards Lodi, it's kind of nice. Like I live in an area over there. It's called Murata, and it's a lot of trees and stuff. It's older houses. My mom rented a house over there, like a three bedroom house, 1 bathroom. We're all 5 living in it, and it was a shitty place. It was like my neighbors had nice houses, but at least she got us onto the onto the nice side of the freeway. Yeah,
right.
So and I'd always hang out there. All my friends, they all grew up around there. Some nicer houses, and so before I did my last fight, I stuck to game plan and just bought a house over there.
Nice.
So that's cool, man.
Is it true you swam Alcatraz?
Yeah. No, I do a lot of triathlon. I usually do like anywhere from I want to say 8 to 12 races a season since I was 18. I was a swimmer. My mom put me in swimming, and a little bit of karate. So I got to, as far as falling off and joining the whole dope game and the gangster scene and all that, I just knew better. You know what I mean? Like,
So your mom raised you right?
Yeah. So
somewhere in there.
Well, somewhere in there. Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
No, she did it really. I mean, I really, owe her the world. But the thing is, everybody else's parents were like selling dope. They were going to school with nice clothes. I was like, what? And my mom's like working, 8-hour days at a restaurant for 30 years. So I wasn't.
But single mom?
Single mom.
Where was your dad?
He was cooking. He was in the picture, in and out.
Yeah.
You
cool
they're
now?
fine. They're fine now. Yeah, they live together. I mean,
that's cool.
It is what it is.
What, did it frustrate you to see the kids with nice clothes, knowing how they were getting their
driving
clothes?
cars when they turned 16 drove me crazy. I just wanted to fight everybody,
right,
on account of that. Then when it came my job, I was like, shit. But I mean, at least I was.
Can you talk about Alcatraz? I want to go back to Jamie Jester. So you swam Alcatraz?
Yeah. So there's a triathlon. There's also a swim. It's Escape from the Rock triathlon and Escape from Alcatraz. 2 different events.
How hard is it to swim?
In the last 15 years I've been racing. Like I did that one 5 times.
Right.
So the swim is 1.5 miles, and it's really a lot nicer than you think. One time it was really nice, and then a couple times it was a little bit harsh, but it was never as bad as swimming over in Santa Cruz. Like I said, 17 years, 3 to 5 fights a year. You don't understand when you have a fight coming up in 3 months, so you're going to get 3 a year, so each 3 months you have another fight.
Right.
So when you have a fight coming up, it's like someone's out to get you. Like it was the same thing in high school. When I was in high school, they were like, oh, someone's going to fuck you up today. And you're like, oh, shit. I'm like, really? Well, tell them I said, fuck you. And you're walking around like, then you're walking around like, shit, man. Like every time you turn the corner, you're like, hey, yo, come with me because I'm going to, I'm going to go over here. And, so it's the same thing. Now you have a fight. Someone's talking shit. You wake up, you're like, fuck, what did they say today? The media's going. It's like, it's rough. You don't really have time to deal with a lot of other stuff. That's why I said, you really, after a while, you realize there's more to life and you start to go, man. And I used to get real mad when people would understand things that I didn't understand and get more money or make more money or end up on a Wheaties box. I was like, what the fuck
are they doing?
I whoop your ass. I'm like light years ahead of people. Like it's amazing. Like, okay, there's a big 4-year gap. Okay. Like me and George St. Pierre, who actually I got in the UFC before him, but Robbie Lawler, Carl Parisian, Robbie and George are the only ones that are still like even fighting. George isn't even fighting right now.
Who bugs you the most?
4 years later, then there's a couple guys. Then Carlos Condit, which is, probably the only one.
But he's done now, right? He's going to retire.
I think so. I mean, I think he should. They're just not. He doesn't have the character. He hasn't invested in the right type of character. Like I put a lot into this. Like people don't understand. Like you want to come into this like with a nice wife and a nice life. I'm like, motherfucker, I didn't get none of that. I don't get to go home to my nice wife and nice life. And if you're doing that every day and you're putting all that effort into your nice wife, I'm putting 100% into what I do. I'm gonna fuck your whole world up right in front of your nice wife and your nice life. It's not gonna be fun. You know what I mean? Like Alvarez. I'm not trying to bring. I'm just saying. Like, look. He ended up the guy for the job too, but now you're fighting McGregor, okay? And it's like you got so much riding on. Like you can't act the way that I act and say the things that I'm capable to say. I've built this whole platform. I live a fight life. I can do what I want to win a fight. You have to worry about like what people are going to think about you, and then when all that goes out into the media, people start believing in the hype. They start buying into the hype. Now 100%. The people around you, including your family and everybody, starts buying into that hype too, and they start bringing nervous energy around you. And then like you maybe say some kind of comments or say something in the media, and then they don't really agree. They're like, oh, or let's say I get suspended or something from the athletic commission for, so everybody's calling me and they're being negative about it. I'm like, no, fuck, I wanted to get suspended. Who gives a shit? I would never have had a vacation. People are telling me, oh, sorry, you got suspended. And, and it's just negative energy, it's just negativity, and you got to get it, like, you got to just ignore it.
But are you so frustrated?
When you have the whole family and a whole, like, you got too much riding on all that stuff to be able to have the freedom to do what you want, say what you want. If I want to say, fuck you, and look at you to your face and say, hey, fuck your mother, then that's, I can do that. See, I don't have to worry about, like, what am I, being a good role model.
That's why you're one of the biggest pay-per-view draws and why people want to watch you fight.
I didn't know I was famous, like, for a really long time. So when I fought George St. Pierre, I have, like, a soccer mom pulling up to me, next to me at a stoplight, and she's going, I hope TSP beats her. I'm like, bitch, we're in Lodi. I'm like, we're in fucking Lodi, and I got a soccer mom coming up hoping I'm like, where's the hometown love, right? So, yeah, it was rough, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm not a good role model for your children. They never gave me the opportunity to be.
Right.
So here George is like this big role model and this sport athletic endorsement guy, and they he starts talking shit, going like, okay, Nick Diaz is a bad guy. Nick Diaz deserves to get beat down. And I'm starting to feel some type of way about this now, because I'm like, you know what? I just had a soccer mom pull up. I'm like, got all these. I want to be on a Wheaties box. I want to get paid for some fucking endorsements. I want them to want me to win the UFC title. They don't want me in that position. They're like, shit. So. Yeah, they just anything to keep me away from that.
You don't fit what they want. You don't fit.
I don't
their
care
vision.
anymore. I'm like, I don't need the fucking belt. I negotiated pay-per-view into my contract without a title. I'm the first one to ever do that. And these motherfuckers were all pointing the finger at me, calling me stupid this whole time. Eddie Alvarez tries to copy me, and people are trying to do what I do, like basically signs with my agency that I went and found on my own. I left Stockton and was like, okay, in nightclubs and moving around, talking to industry, talking to everybody that's somebody. But once I realized, like, okay, this is, how do we get in here? How do we go there? I didn't know what to wear. This is 3 years ago. I'm like, I didn't know what, how to get into a nightclub. I'm like, what the fuck? Why don't you let me and my friends in? I had all these scrubs with me. I had to cut my circle short. It costed me a lot of money, a lot of moving around. I came to a lot of real understandings, and now I get it. And now that I get it, I'm fucking pretty pissed. I'm like, dude, this is. I could have known all this shit when I was 20 years old, and I'm this ignorant 20-year-old that doesn't. Just because I am here around people who don't make any money, and they don't see me going anywhere. The people that are going somewhere are already. It's old money. It's like they've been. They're ready to. They're taking over their parents' business, and then the ones that make it out of there, then they get. If they don't get knocked up or sewed up, then they leave, and then they live in San Diego or somewhere.
Right.
And I just
crazy. I relate so much to that childhood you're talking about, man. It's the exact environment I was
fighting
in.
your way
and
out.
I don't feel like it's rough out there, but like, wait, it's not so.
Hope.
Yeah, when you're out there, it's not like super rough, like what you think. Like it's there's hard parts of town. You're not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. What's rough is nobody comes to you. So there is no opportunity there. And I was like, okay, when I fight and I win, and when I fight and when I win, I'm going to have opportunities come to me. No. You need to go.
You still got to go get them.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I wasn't here right now, I'd be in Stockton. I wouldn't be on this show right now. So, like, it's just, you got to get the hell out of there. And when you have a fight coming in 3 months, you're going to go to a nice, warm, safe place that you're used to, where you train, and you don't want to change what works.
Right. I noticed the UFC, there's more shit talking going on. There was a time where it was very... chill,
because people were scared, and then when they watched me, that's what I'm saying. Like Conor McGregor, he copies my model and mixed it with Floyd. I don't know how to act like Floyd and be all money guy, because I grew up broke, and we just don't act that way. I don't want to act like a douche like that. I mean, like if I had this understandings, maybe I would have approached it differently. But I never put on an act. I was legitimately pissed off.
Yeah,
and that's legitimate for reasons. And when I never stepped out of line on anybody. I never do. I'm like, these guys start running their mouth at me, and they say the wrong shit, and then I call them, and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, and I worked harder than you, and that's the thing too. I make 170 pounds. Like, you got Alvarez fighting McGregor. He's small. He's shorter than McGregor. He should fight at 45. But you know why he doesn't do that? Because he'd have to do the diets I do. He'd have to do put in the miles I do. I put in miles. I put in rounds. I'm on the mat doing jiu-jitsu. These guys don't have black belts. If they do, they don't have a real boxing background. McGregor don't have no black belt in jiu-jitsu. He just learned jiu-jitsu like before this last fight. And then,
wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
watching YouTube videos.
He's Googling.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a very serious thing getting a purple belt or a blue belt under Cesar Gracie back in 2004, 5, 6, all that stuff. There's like the only people that were getting belts, like I was like one of the first American black belts under a Gracie or something like that. Like back, you know, way back. Yeah, like I've had my black belt for a long time. And it's a big deal. I mean, like, it's not like I haven't given anybody any belts. You know what I mean? How and who are these? You know, these people passing around belts like it's a. You know, I'm like, go win a competition with that belt. Let's see how you do. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? It takes a long time to learn jiu-jitsu, and then these guys don't want to invest in that. And the ones that have, they're not gonna go and do boxing like traditional. They're gonna do kickboxing, and that's just gonna be enough for them. And then they want to go home to their nice wife and nice life, and they've got a whole bunch of other stuff to worry about. I'm over here, miles. Jiu-jitsu, pro boxing, kickboxing, and judo, and sambo, and I'm doing all of it, taking all of it into consideration, and always have.
What about jump rope?
As soon as it was there for me.
How
I'm
important,
actually pretty good with the jump rope.
How important is the jump rope? Because you keep hearing about more and more.
Yeah, jump rope is a really solid tool. I think that more people should invest in the jump rope, and a lot of old.
So if you don't know how to do it, it looks gay as fuck.
Oh yeah,
like I was a kid who like didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I'll get down on a jump rope.
Didn't you train with Andre, or was that a rumor?
No, yeah, I started sparring him. I met him. I walked into the gym, CYC boxing gym. It was like what do you call it? Like a kids center or something like that, where they had boxing there. And I go in there and I'm looking for some sparring. Cesar Gracie brings me in there to get me some real sparring with some guys that had some real boxing. And I met Andre Ward, and I was like, and he's 17. I'm like 18, and I'm going like, yo, I do a little MMA. You know, maybe we could help each other out. I'm gonna be in boxing, this and that. And he's like, looks at me like, okay. He's like, yeah, it's a lot of hard work though. He's telling him, I'm like, okay. I was like, I thought I was starting a conversation. It's a lot of hard. I'm like, okay, I get it. I see how it is. So then I'm like, maybe a year or two later, I sparred Christian Cruz and a couple pros like in that gym. And then he walks in. I think he was sparring Chris that day, and then they let me come in after Chris.
Okay. And
then I just ran across the ring and started throwing hard shots at him. And he moved around. He was cautious. He's 17 years old, and he was like the best boxer there was at that age, ready to, make the Olympic team and all this stuff. And so from then on, I had random sparring with him throughout the years. They'd call me every time they find a southpaw. They'd call me in. I'd come in. I wouldn't, I would not show up. And that was a fucked up thing too, because they would put little tricks on me. I think I'm coming the next day, then they wouldn't call me, and then they'd call me when I'm not expecting it.
Eric, I'm not interrupting them. That's our music that says that the show's ending, but I'm not interrupting Nick Diaz.
I thought that's what it was.
I'm not interrupting him.
By the way, Nick Diaz is my new favorite fighter.
Oh, right on.
That's some shit, man.
It was a pleasure.
I wanted to know if you got to punch Andre Ward.
No, what I'm saying is I put in some pretty good days with Andre. I mean, like,
and he hits hard.
Oh, yeah, that's the most important sparring I've had.
Nick, what do you got to plug? We got to get out of here for real.
Follow me on Instagram, Nick Diaz 209.
Okay.
Twitter, same thing.
Come back and see it.